Hello, Nari McDiarmid for miningnews.net, and I'd like to welcome Duncan Chessell, Managing Director and Chief Executive with Copper Search, ahead of Mining News Select Australia. So, Duncan, for investors attending, what's the key message you'd like them to understand about the company?
Yeah, I think if investors can take away anything about Copper Search is that we're a classic sort of early stage explorer with a pipeline of drill ready targets that we keep on bringing in new drill ready targets, and we're about testing that discovery phase where the greatest potential uplift of share price for investors is. We have a fantastic technical committee, technical commodity experts, consultants that we can draw in. The other thing is a technical review panel which reports independently to the board is something that a lot of junior companies don't have. So a lot of technical rigor goes into decisions to acquire a project, decisions to validate any potential drill targets, looking at scale, commodity, future trends in that commodity, and jurisdictional sort of where are those potential projects that we want to bring in, and when it's drill ready, that decision to commit shareholders' funds is taken very seriously by the board. So we don't drill test our best target on our properties. But it has to stand up against any other targets that you'd want to spend money on. So has to have that real scale potential to really move the needle for shareholders, and that's what Copper Search is all about.
Well, Duncan, you mentioned that pipeline of projects and drill ready targets. You've made some recent acquisitions. So, what are the highlights of these new additions?
Yeah, well, Nari, we've previously when we've spoken a couple of years ago, we were single project focused up in the Peak and Denison drilling for IOCGs. But since then, we have taken a multi-project, multi-drill target, a position where we want to be drilling the next potential large-scale discovery every quarter. We want to be able to go out and drill test those sorts of targets. So earlier this year, we've picked up 2 projects in New South Wales in the Lachlan Fold Belt, or specifically in the Macquarie Arc, which is highly prospective for gold and copper porphyry mines. So you've got operating world-class mines in that district. So we picked up the Byrock project right up in the northern extension of the Macquarie Arc, a really interesting emerging set of drill targets coming out of some boots on ground work that's going on right now. And just probably only a week or two ago now, we picked up another project down near the Cowal Gold Mine, which is a epithermal gold potential, and it's also got a copper porphyry deeper potential target there as well. So just bringing that pipeline of targets into the mix is really important.
Duncan, you mentioned drilling a moment or two ago. So, news flow, what should investors be keeping an eye out for in the coming months?
Well, Nari, we've got a pretty strong news flow coming up. We've been validating and working up on multiple projects, getting things ready for drill testing. So we're going to see in the back half of the year drill testing on our recent. We didn't even speak about this one yet. The heavy mineral sands potential, our project in South Australia, which is sort of backed off of the recent success from Petrotherm in the same Eromanga Basin. We'll be drill testing that. We'll be having a look at drill testing on our Byrock project up in New South Wales, the northern end of the Macquarie Arc. We have in the southern project and the Rimfire project, we'll probably be delineating drill targets and making that decision to purchase or not. So we're doing that 6-month option to purchase at the moment, putting that project through all the technical rigor we can before we have to purchase it or decide to walk away. So a lot of news flow there. We're also just continuing to look for new projects, because these days we can't just think about what's happening in 3 or 6 months away. We have to think about 18 months, 2 years ahead, because sometimes the regulatory environment takes us that long once we do decide to buy a project or get in on it, to get all the approvals ready for drill testing. So we have to be thinking 2 years out and also 3 to 6 months for drill testing and evaluation and news flow. So there's a huge amount going on now that we've broadened our view to multi project and are aiming to drill test one large scale target every quarter.
And also, as part of that broader focus, you're also looking at a name change shortly as well.
Yeah, so we'll be in July. We have a general meeting of shareholders to ratify a recent placement, which has catched us up nicely. And we'll be changing the name to Altitude Minerals, or asking the shareholders to decide on that, I should say.
And in terms of big picture, Duncan, what does success look like for the company?
Well, as an explorer, we're looking to go out and make that large scale discovery success. We're probably a type of company that would seek to take something from early stage discovery, resource delineation, and then when it starts to sort of tend towards scoping and feasibilities, we'd look to spin that project off if it was of significant scale.
Well, Duncan, it's great to speak with you again, and I look forward to seeing you at the conference.
Thanks, Nari.